UFC 327 was an interesting night, to say the least, and some fighters really improved their stock, while others have some work to do. Let's take a look at the stock watch for the UFC after their latest offering on pay-per-view in Canada, and I guess PLE down everywhere else. So UFC 327 now behind us. Here is the stock watch. We'll start on the negative. The down arrow pointing for Dominick Reyes. Yes, it's a win, but it's one where a lot of people were talking about how underwhelming the fight was when it was done. That's not great. So I feel like Dominick Reyes, at a time where things are opening up at 205 pounds again, I feel like he kind of needed a bit more of an exclamation mark on his performance to get that done. And so if we're going to put him there, we have to put Johnny Walker as well, as the fall continues for a guy who was once an exciting and very interesting fighter in the UFC. I don't think he moves the needle much anymore, and I don't think this performance at UFC 327 helps him out either. And then number one on the down list, I think it has to be Jiri Prochazka. When you have me and others talking about the gigantic choke job that it was, and you get knocked out by a dude whose knee just exploded, that's not awesome, and that is really going to hurt. And now we could be looking at an interim title situation, and I don't know if there's many people who are going to be calling for Prochazka to step into that spot. So he is the one who I think his stock took the biggest hit coming out of UFC 327. As far as the ones who are trending up, the arrow is pointing way up for Aaron Pico. A brilliant performance against Patricio Pitbull on the undercard of UFC 327. That's the guy that everyone has been wanting to see. It was an underwhelming UFC debut, but now that he's got that out of the way and puts on a very good performance against a very real fighter in the UFC, it's back on track for this dude. And it is maybe too much too soon, but I am looking for a pretty significant step up in competition for him, and just kind of assuming that he's back on track. This one, maybe it feels weird to say this about a guy retiring, but Cub Swanson, a fantastic way to go out for his career, and I love that he got some flowers, and I love that he got celebrated in the octagon after and just throughout the fight week. So it's more a career up arrow for Cub Swanson, who gets to end this thing on a high note. But number one, it has to be Carlos Ulberg, the new, undisputed for now, light heavyweight champion of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, getting one of the all-timer knockout wins over Jiri Prochazka and picking up the dub there. He has been progressing to this moment, and he finally comes up with a big one. So Carlos Ulberg is the one who has the arrow pointing up the most coming out of UFC 327. Was I unfair to anyone in here, or did I miss anybody? Let me know. If you're watching on YouTube, hit me up in the comments, and we can keep the conversation going there. If you are listening to this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts, hit me up on social media. I'm at Primetime Klein, and we can keep chatting about everything over there. Also, just want to let you guys know, we do have a tip jar here with Couch Potato Diary. If you want to help support the show, just watching is amazing. If you want to hit that subscribe button on YouTube, or subscribe, follow, whatever, on whatever podcast app you are listening to, that would be great. But if you want to be able to help out financially, there is a tip jar. It is in the link in the description of whatever you are watching with Couch Potato Diary, or however you are consuming this here with Couch Potato. It would just really help us to be able to put this stuff out on a bit more of a consistent basis as we continue to try to grow the channel here.